Here we go live. So welcome everyone to Meshery Development Meeting. Today is 28th of June. And if you haven't introduced yet to the community and in this call, make sure you sound off and give a quick introduction. I see one newcomer, Rex Joshua. So hi Rex, welcome to the community. I would like to introduce. And
Okay.
oh, yeah, go ahead, Rex.
All right. Good day, everyone. My name is Rex. I'm a product designer. And sorry, there's a plane passing over. I'll just pause.
Oh, that's great. Welcome to the community.
My name is Rex. I'm a product designer, and all right, yeah. I'm hoping to contribute with respect to the design files and design specifically, more or less. So, thanks for having me.
That's great. Yeah, we do have lots of design items to be discussed. All right. So I don't see any more newcomer on today's call. So with that, we'll start the call. So if you haven't, if you got webcams, don't be shy. Feel free to open it. And we are slightly less on agenda today. So make sure you list an item if you got a PR issue or anything to discuss. I'll quickly share the meeting minutes and make sure to mark your attendance. So with that, let's first start with this thing. So if you haven't started the Meshery repository yet, so I request you all to give it a star and do share it with your friends and peers. And if you haven't published your first design into Meshery catalog, make sure you publish your design. We have docs available on and tutorials on docs.meshery.io on how to publish a design on Meshery catalog. And when you do publish a design, so we'll be sending out a tweet from meshery.io's Twitter account. So with that, let's start with today's first item. So Pranav would like to take the stage and cover the support for catalog.
Yes, I'm sharing my screen. So my item is like straightforward. That is about supporting publishing of filters to the catalog. So a little bit of context, like Meshery as a tool helps managing different kinds of configurations. As of today, Meshery helps in managing application design as well as filters. But long-term support would be for eBPF programs as well as OPA policies. So right now, the thing was that there wasn't a support for publishing filter to our catalog, whether it's the catalog which we see in Meshery.io or the ones which we see right in our Meshery Cloud page. So like I've already added the support for publishing in the remote provider by adding a missing API endpoint. I've just now added the same endpoint in our Meshery server as well, which was missing. So like after this, this UI can just call this new API and the new request for publishing can be done through Meshery UI itself. Like how this would flow is like there would be a publish button like we see for our designs, and you can publish your like loved filters directly to the catalog so that more people can engage with the filter and use them. It's a great way for collaborating. And I think this item would be backed by changes by Gaurav, which he would be talking in a minute. So I don't think there would be any questions on this. So yep.
There's one quick question.
You would be wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. And I tossed them into chat. Just is there support for updating a catalog item, like to the extent that maybe someone has published a design and they have subsequent improvements that they want to make in that design? How do they get that out?
Yes, currently there is a support for unpublishing. So like this is the design which I published. So if I click on unpublish button, so what it will do is that it will change the visibility of this catalog item from published to private, and it will remove that item from our meshery.io, this website. There is a workflow which does that for us. And like there is no way to directly edit a design in the catalog, but we can first unpublish and then republish it. So that's the flow right now. And same would be done for filters as well. So, to this new endpoint. Yeah.
And so there's no direct edit, so to speak, or
like when we talk about edit, it's like if I change anything here, then it will directly run that workflow. The thing is that when I talk about editing, it's like editing the description, compatibility, and those stuff. Those stuff cannot be directly edited from a UI. So for that, you have to unpublish and publish. But if you change any of the configuration here, it will be reflected in the new design, because whenever we click a save operation, it runs the workflow again in a backend. So
no way.
that's
No way.
yeah, that is.
I'm reminded of like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which if you're old enough to watch that, then it's anyway. Yeah, all right. Well, hey, a couple of things that you might give consideration to is that if someone continues to iterate on a published design, they might, that they might make any number of saves, especially if they were using a visual editor like MeshMap. They might have, I don't know, 50, 100 saves or so in a design session, which that would be a lot of workflows, I would think, to kick off. So that's something to consider. The other thing to consider is the discrepancy between updating of metadata versus updating, which is the title and the everything outside of the file versus the contents inside. That ideally that would be, I would think, ideally those would be treated one and the same. So whatever the behavior is for updating one would be the same mechanism that you would use for updating the other. So food for thought. If that, do you recall if that's been considered before?
Actually, in a Meshery UI, there isn't a button that helps us to see our current description that we have published. So that's the reason there isn't a way to edit that. But like just now, I just changed the name of this design to test one, and we can see it directly got reflected here. So that's the thing. Like whatever we change in the contents, it gets reflected as soon as we make a change in Meshery UI. It's just that we cannot change this thing or this compatibility and this stuff. For that, we have to unpublish and publish because the UI doesn't expose that thing, right?
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a note. Maybe is that desired behavior, or is a change in that regard encouraged or welcome?
Like, I think it makes sense if someone updates their design and we directly publish the new version. It's just that we are not checking for that whether because they are not sending any new request for this thing. It's just that it gets updated automatically. We can control this if we want, but yeah.
Yeah, or to re-articulate the crux of the question that I'm asking, or the initial one was just, hey, once you publish something, is your mistake out there for all time, or can you improve on it? And how do you do so? And you were saying you can unpublish and republish, and you'll get some of your info updated. You were also saying like, well, hey, if you're correcting your mistake, actually every time that is saved, your published catalog item is in fact updated, just not the description. And so the crux of the line of questioning that I'm asking pertains to whether or not it is intentional that this single catalog item, that aspects of it are being treated differently than other aspects, or is it the desire that all is updated in the same fashion?
Like if we have, like when a new update is required, then I believe there should be a new request for that instead of directly updating in the catalog, because then we should have consistent behavior for description as well as the contents of the design. So that will require augmentation in the backend.
Cool. Yeah, good. I think I got distracted on what you were saying, that it's ideal that they're treated one and the same, or that they're continued to be treated differently.
I was saying that it would be ideal if we treat both of them together in the same way.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Yeah, there's some implicit danger that Avi is pointing out, which is, my understanding is that when someone decides to create a design, they request for it to be published into the catalog, that there's something of a review process, and that if they wanted to make changes, you might consider that those would be need to be reviewed again, but you might also not. It's something to think about. There are definitely catalogs, marketplaces that don't. You engage with them as a partner. Your initial software offering, if you're the publisher, your software, your content is being published into someone else's catalog, you might go through an initial validation process and verification that you're putting good things into the marketplace, and those things should be supported. But your mileage varies from marketplace to marketplace, or from catalog to catalog, in which they may have ongoing validation requirements to ensure that that the checks are passing, that you can deploy or use content in the catalog. But in others, no, you just can go in and update. It's a little bit of a maintenance nightmare, actually. The more that you try to curate the content, the more process and rigmarole and human intervention is required, and pre-written tests and validations and things. And so these are certainly things to think about. I think that there's a couple of things that are probably true. One is that what you were saying is that all aspects of a given piece of content, of a catalog entry, should be treated uniformly. They should be updated uniformly. And that, yes, it's true. If someone goes in and edits the design, they're going to have potentially 100 saves for just one user, for just one session. And that number of workflows times however many users, however many sessions, is unwieldy. And unbeknownst to them, likely they're not, it needs to be made clear that that there isn't a clone or a copy of the content that they have privately in their own environment that is being made. Like, there isn't a clone being made, correct? When they publish, it's the same. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the UI looks great. I don't know who designed this. Anyway, except for the buttons in the upper right-hand corner, those look like trash. But there is one other item that, and I didn't mince my words on that, I suppose. There's one other item about visibility. Right here, we've got published. And if you look in Meshery UI, it seemed like we might be using a different word, one that is potentially confusing, because it does have meaning. And so I suppose there are two issues maybe to open from this, or three. One is to clean up the trash on that last UI, to make sure that we're saying published, not public, if that's what, if there's a difference between those two terms, which there is, it's semantically meaningful. And then to treat all content the same. Is that right?
Okay.
So, okay, good. Great. Well, thanks for entertaining me.
All right. Thanks, Pranav. It was a nice update. So moving ahead, we have an item from Lee or Uzair on new mesh model constructs.
Yeah, Uzair, do you mind giving an update? Or if not, we should postpone this one because everybody just had to listen to me talk for a little bit.
Okay, I will give a brief. So there were two changes made in the mesh model. The first one was the addition of this particular attribute in the component definition, and the second is the addition of this new patch strategy and for relationships. So what is this is annotation. So basically, if this component, if any component has this attribute set as true, it means it is not like any system that we support, like Kubernetes or adapters or service meshes, don't understand, like this component will not be provisioned on the on any system, but it is for visual representation. So it means like, so if you see, this is an envoy filter, and you can see this is that like a validation badge. So it is just for visual representation, and it doesn't need to be deployed, or it is a part of a design, but it doesn't serve any purpose. So related to this, this was required because we had our new component was some filter. So if we go under the, if we go to filters tab, basically the feature that is being currently developed is you can grab these filters and add to this envoy filter. So this filter will sit as a like as a wallet under this right bottom corner. So it will have all the configuration, and this wasm filter will convey all the configuration to envoy filter, but it is not meant for deployment. Only the istio envoy filter understand what is the configuration. So, and in the future, we can also have another components, like the, if you want to add comments, for example, this is an attribute. So to explain like what is the meaning of this, or why the specific value has been provided to this, you can add a comment or initiate a conversation. So basically all this will be part of canvas, and all will be backed by schema, and everyone will have a component definition. So we need a way to distinguish like whether this is a deployable entity or not. So this is why this particular attribute was added under metadata. Hope this is clear. Any questions? Lee, do you want to add anything to this?
No, it sounded like you'd been working on it for a while, and kind of like an auctioneer, you had a lot to convey in a little bit of time. And then at the end, you're like, okay, well, that's what it is. Any questions? Oh, anyway, did anyone else feel like that? Uzair gave some nice visuals to help explain what was going on. And do you know why he was explaining it? Yep, that's right. It's for you. He was explaining it for you, the person on the call, everybody else. And so everybody that is here working on Meshery every day, he was explaining it for you. There's a number of you that are here every day, and he was explaining it for you that are here for the first time as well. So this is your golden opportunity to say, what? What's a wallet? Patching.
Okay, I will wait for the questions in the chat and proceed with this another change. So this one is like patch. So what does it means? Basically, it is available in for both the attributes from and to. So patch means like substituting any entity in place. So when you will drop a filter on this, this filter will have some specific configuration that we want our envoy this envoy filter to understand or have this value. So basically, with this patch attribute, whenever you will drop this filter on the envoy filter, there is this policy will invoke and determine like what needs to be updated from this component to this component. And the way we control is by this. So we need to apply a patch. The strategy is replace. So basically meaning whatever that is present in this wasm filter, replace, copy this and replace that property in this envoy filter. And we also need like what is the path, how we can reach this property, and in this component as well as in this secondary component. So basically mutator ref and mutator ref conveys this information. So in this case, mutator is this wasm filter and mutated is envoy filter. So yes, so to determine like where this property should sit, like under it should sit under value. So the way to reach this is config patches and then value. Mm.
So yeah, so Rego is being used for this patching. All right. How do we? Is there a way to avoid reinventing the wheel with patching? If you do a Kubernetes, if you do a dry run, just like using kubectl, do you, and your dry run was to be a patch operation, do you get back the output from Kube API of what that patch would be?
Yes, basically you get like what will be the updated before deployment.
Well, okay, that's interesting. So that's what you're writing the code on the left-hand side to do. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like understood that what you are asking, like to think like whether we can use Kubernetes patch that is exposed via kube client.
Yeah, ideally without necessitating an active connection to a Kubernetes cluster. Food for thought. Rego doesn't seem like necessarily that it was built to do this per se. It looks like you can do this.
Basically, though, so in the Rego there is also like function to patch. So there is a filter, and also there is a patch that is backed by, and the JSON patch that support is basically that we were. So if I.
And the patch that they have has different strategies, or
Yes, like there is a
add.
there was an RFC. Yes, this one. So here it is mentioned like what are the strategies and what are the operations. So it is basically similar to patch strategy that is supported by Kubernetes, like strategic patch, I think. Similar to. And if you do via kube client, the way you are mentioning, so we need this information to be expressed in UI. So it should be like quick and dynamic. So if we are using like something like Kubernetes client, then the request should go to the backend, or I don't know.
Unless you're, yeah, even. Yeah, I mean, unless you're running it in Wasm, like this.
Yes.
Golang and Wasm. It's
Yes, we can.
It's just something to bear in mind. It's just expanding the line of thinking. Not necessarily the things that I'm saying are golden. Yeah, because it's not just that this language supports patching. It's all of the particulars around things like X Kubernetes and what those are, those attributes are, or just all of the Kubernetes specific things. Moreover, if there's any amount of logic that is being enforced by maybe controllers on whether or not a patch is allowed, or a particular manner in which it's done, or some particulars about a custom resource that only a controller would know. Like if you're interacting with the source, with Kubernetes in this case, you're gonna. Anyway, not an easy challenge, but just food for thought. It could be to the extent that so I don't know that how many on the call are aware that what Uzair was just showing was, well, I guess it was some YAML on the right-hand side, a YAML of the MeshModel component that needs to have its configuration patched from one component to the next. Basically, when we say patch, just in this case, it's just configuration of one visual component that you see in the diagram, the contents of it copied and pasted into the contents of another component that you see on the canvas. So just one applying itself to the next, sort of the two becoming one, sort of like transformers joining to make a superbot, like, okay, nobody. Okay. But yep, to the, and then the evaluation of that is being done in, well, in WebAssembly, in the browser. And it's being done with an evaluation engine, Open Policy Agent. And the thing is that WebAssembly environment in the browser, well, it supports like, 40 something different languages, Golang being one of them. And so, I don't know, so Uzair, if the Go client has patching logic locally that we could execute client side in the browser in an auxiliary function in a different awesome module, or the same awesome module just built with, built with additional operations, utilities to augment, these evaluations, then, there might be something, something worth exploring. Anybody else have questions for Uzair? MeshModel, everybody get to see what MeshModel is. It's that first link in the second bullet. MeshModel, go check it out. Go check it out. Gaurav has got some updates though.
All right. Thanks, Uzair and Lee. So next up is add support for download, publish, unpublish, and clone and for the WASM filters in Meshery UI. So Pranav just discussed about the backend support, Pranav and Uzair. So I have implemented that in the WASM for Meshery UI, and it is exposing all the API endpoints that are over there. So we now have publish, download, and unpublish. So currently the clone is not shown because we don't have any public catalog items available on Meshery catalog for filters. So once we do that, we can get that feature as well. Plus one minor thing I noticed over here, we do need to refactor the whole publish model that we have. So currently I'm just using the one that we do have for the same patterns, for the same designs. So it has a hard coding of all the capabilities and the types. So we need to remove that and get it done dynamically. So any questions on this?
Yeah, that form smells of a particular library, the React JSON RJSF library, React JSON schema something library form. Oh, speaking of trash, it looks like we have more garbage over here. Like, is this the final form? What can we do to improve this? Specifically, Gaurav, for you.
Yeah, we can refactor the whole form using the RJSF library. And as I said, we need to have those fields dynamically uploaded, the capability and the type. Currently, we just have a couple of items listed in array for that.
Okay. If you
First up, I
unpublish
think-
and republish, do these values return? If you unpublish and republish, do the values come back? I wonder. Something to try out if you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I interrupted somebody.
Yeah, I think Abhi was saying something.
Yeah. Not very important, but whenever you are trying to publish the filters, it asks for like what's the pattern caveat, what's the pattern name, and what's XYZ, right? So that shouldn't be like this, right? So we are handling the filters panel. So all the things should be replaced with filters. Filters might have something extra as well. So that's definitely, I mean, plus to what you're saying, like all these fields, the JSON schema form that we render in the UI right now, it should be derived from the backend. It should be available on an endpoint, and that's an effort that we are trying to, I mean, yeah, that's what we are aiming for this week, where the schemas are listed somewhere in the mesh kit, and that is referenced by the Meshery server and is available to Meshery UI through some endpoints.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So yeah, I'll be working on, we all will be working on that. So moving ahead. So I just noticed that we have almost 118 unassigned issues, or some of the issues need reassignment. So if you are looking for to work on an issue, so make sure you comment on that, and I'll quickly share the link of this in chat. So let's move to next item. So Yash has 2 items. So Yash would like to present.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. Okay, so okay, so the UI in the UI, if you go to this profile and click on the dashboard, this UI is crashing. I didn't get a chance to figure out what causing this, but this is crashing, and other pages are not crashing, like profile and security and events are not crashing. Only the dashboard is crashing. I will create an issue for that. If anyone have an idea why this is crashing, please do assign yourself or please ask for assignment. Also, I will look into it. So this is an first item that I have, and actually, okay. Those second ones, okay.
Oh yeah, hey Josh, that seems pretty important. Maybe just before, thanks for bringing it up. Maybe we should make sure there's a name associated to that before we move on.
I'll fix that. It's not in our UI. It's in the remote provider. Probably some of the imports are not like imported. Like in the UI, there might be some import error, and that's the reason. I'll fix this right now. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so this is second item is for just call for volunteers. So if you go to the mesh models in the settings, so the problem over here is the rows per page is not working right now. I think backend is properly working, but this is an issue from the UI side. So I already created the issue. If you want to contribute, you can go to the link and ask for assignment. And the second thing is this add cluster button over here doesn't look good. So we need to transfer it from over here to over here. We can also do that, but the problem with this is if we click on the search item, it will like hide that button. So I think we can have this type of implementation currently that we have for the research database. So if any new contributor is looking to contribute, you can ask for assignment for this too. So if you have any other idea like what we can do better over here, so it will be also.
Yeah, just a quick item, because I think it will conflict our current UX, because in other pages, like in configuration, we have the addition button or add any item button above the table only. So moving it to another place would be a conflict to our UX that we currently follow. But yeah, like things to explore over here, food for thought.
Although I think the setting page requires UI reformat, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like it is for if we should do this for now. Or yeah. These all the items from us. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Yash. So next up, Sudhanshu would like to share your updates on handle API request efficiently in Meshery UI.
Yes. Yes. Basically, it's like a issue I've like seen there in the all like design filters and applications or like any cards or tables you're using. So like the issue is like whenever we just like move forward fast in these paginations, so it will create a bug like this. So is this because if we move to the second page or like the previous page, API request is not handled efficiently. So this causes a bug. Same thing in the tables also. So this is basically we are following the fetch technique in the Meshery UI. There could be a possible implementations for it. It could be like we use debounce for it, or we could like use a flag in it. Like if we move to the another page, like so the previous request should be cancelled, or like it should be handled efficiently. So it is not in this case only. It happens in the every filters designs API request handled. I tried like implement something, but it is in work in progress. So I will create an issue for it and try to put like suggest some implementations, possible implementations for it. It is not like confirmed that it will work on that particular scenario. But if any volunteer want to take that thing and up, and it would be very good. Any questions on that?
I think that's that's concerning actually, because yeah, it just sends more and more requests. How do how do you reproduce it?
We reproduce like if we move forward fastly, like through our pages. So the previous page request doesn't like
That's yeah.
retrieves, and we
There's
move to the another
definitely
one.
some race conditions that is happening here. Like as you said, like if you move fast enough, that actually you win the race against the the HTTP request, and that's where everything breaks, right? So yeah, so there is a principle of side effects and under state management. I think that's being violated here. That's why this race condition is there. So yeah, you have created an issue for this, right?
Oh,
I mean,
I will
it's
get. I have
definitely a
not.
high priority.
Yes, I agree too.
Yeah, please mark it as a high priority so that yeah,
Sure.
someone can take it up.
All right. Thanks, Sudhanshu, for bringing up that issue. So moving on next, we have an update from Harsh on dark mode bug fixes. So do we have Harsh on the call? Yep, we do.
Yeah, just a minute. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So previously in the preferences section, we were displaying light mode when the dark mode was active and dark mode when the light mode was active, like that. But since it is a toggle switch, we have changed it to dark mode itself. So that's a minor correction here.
You're able to change the theme directly from here as well.
Yeah.
You were not able to do it previously. Before.
Like we were able to change the theme, but the text displayed here was changing to light mode when the dark mode was active. But since it is a switch, so the desired
Okay.
outcome should be printed here.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thanks
Yeah,
for that.
that's all from my side.
All right. Yeah, this is a nice quick fix. If it's not merged, let's make sure to get it merged quickly.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks for your update, Harsh. So next up, we have an item from Subedy on performance profile. So Subedy would like to share your screen. Oh, we don't have Aditya on the call. So let's we have to skip his item. So let's move to Vivek's item. Vivek would like to share your update. Do we have Vivek? Vivek Jha. Yeah. Do we have Vivek Jha on the call? Yep, we do.
Mine is just minor updates on Meshy Cloud. First one is basically before it was not, there was no such loading animations there. I fixed that. and I've also fixed these buttons on Meshery Cloud. Just that.
That link and share button, right? You have
Yeah,
fixed. Yeah. All right. I think there will be some more UI proposed changes over there. So yeah, we can cover it out later.
sure.
So Vivek, Vishal, you're up next.
Okay, Gaurav, if you'll please open the issue, please. So it's been a while since it's open. So Ashish, the maintainer at Meshery, and I had a discussion like, having send an email to maintainer at Meshery in case of there's a failure in mesh model component generation or failure. So I wanted to confirm, like, do we still need this? So there was a file generator.yaml which has a run script which was updating or generating the mesh model component. So there was another job to be added in case that run script fails. So which will send an email to the email maintainer at Meshery. So I had that script ready, but Ashish was to share some secrets, but I didn't hear back from him. So I just wanted to know, like, do we still need this?
Ashish might be absent for some reason. So
I mean, currently we don't have, like, this facility
what
to
do you
send.
require? The secrets?
There was some secrets, like I think the user ID from which it would be sent and something like that. So just so
Okay,
maybe I can if we still need it, so I will send the PR, then you can have a look on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
think
do.
it's, yep. Yeah.
So no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was to say about the same. Like, yeah, we do need it, and if you require any secret, like, yeah, we are ready to provide. Please, yeah, I think Ashish might get late to response, but yeah, you can ask anyone from the team.
Also, the generator.yaml file, it has gone private. I think it's not visible in .github/workflows directory anymore.
Yeah, wait. Oh, yeah. Say more, Vivek. How do you mean?
Like in Meshery/Meshery repository. So in directory.github, there was a workflow generator.yaml, which has a run script. So it has only the run script job, which was updating or generating, yes, the mesh model components. So another job was to be added in case that fails. So I had a if clause. So if the run script job fails, then that another job would run, and it would send an email to maintainer at .meshery that like this failed, come and do something about it.
Very good, very good. Actually, I understood that. I'm the one that made the request. It's not obvious, but Ashish didn't write down much to describe it. Thanks for.
No.
Thanks
Ashish had like long discussion on this in the previous call. I can send you the link.
Yeah, no, I asked him to do it. That's why you guys had the discussion. What I'm asking you is, you'd mentioned that you can't find something. There was something in a private folder that you can't find, and that's what I'm asking is like.
Yes. So that was generator.yaml file.
Oh, okay. Okay. There have been some renames of the workflows recently. Just the name of the thing, not and some of them have had their file names renamed. So if you go to actions, is another way of looking over the workflows. It's right now you're on. If you go back to the other screen that you were on, and at the top you're on issues tab. Actions, in the left hand side there's an all workflows or show more workflows to expand the list. And then within here, it might start with a mesh model, maybe. Mesh models component generator, and this might be the one that you're looking for. If you click that, what's
Okay.
the file name? MeshModel generators. It might be.
I think this is it.
Okay. Good. So this one
Yes,
runs.
it's a run script job. Yeah, got it.
This one runs every day. What's the condition that you're going to use?
So like there's only one job right now, this run script job. So in case this fails, so I just added a if clause, and then I used a third party action that would send an email in case if this script fails.
Yeah. What's the condition? How do you detect if the script fails? How do you make sure that next task continues to run even though the first step may have failed?
I don't remember exactly, but I had that in my local setup, and it was working correctly fine. It was something like if this fails, something like this. I can just send you after, like I had that in my local.
Oh, nice. Okay. Do you know? I expect. Do you know? Is that configured to run as a separate job or as a separate step?
I think that's second job.
Okay.
So there would be two jobs after that. Run a script and then just send email.
Oh, very good. You don't of the link that I just popped over in chat. This one. Do you know if the third-party action that you were looking to use is the same one that is used here on line 26?
I will have a look. 26. On line 26, I don't see any action there, like MeshModel generators.yaml. Okay, right now. Labs.
Oh, okay.
26.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Just if you had known it off the top of your head, it would be interesting to know. But yeah, if ideally we would use maybe the same action, or if the one that you're using is even better, maybe we would come over and update this one, just that we're uniform with respect to the actions that we use.
Okay, I will update you.
Oh, nice. Oh, good.
All right.
Well, thanks for that, Vivek. That's the importance of that isn't to be underlooked. Vivek, as you do that, there are maybe 3 other workflows, or potentially 4. There's the stable release workflow, and 2 or 3 that deal with deploying the playground. Any of those, it's a human needs to come look at why those had failed and take some action. So while you're in there and writing some conditionals, if you don't mind, it'd be quite helpful if you added it to any of them that say playground, and at least to the stable release.
Okay. I'll take a look.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Vivek. So Subedy just joined back. So let's circle back to him. So Subedy would like to give a quick update on performance profile.
Yeah. Just give me a minute. Okay. So can I share my screen? Just
Yeah,
quickly.
sure. Please go ahead.
Okay. So earlier I was working on merging the previous performance profile to current, like new performance profile created. And I would like to say that was successful. Like all the previous performance profile are now merged into new performance profiles and are visible in the dashboard side. Just need to work on some formatting with the names and names and other parameters that were passed to the performance profile. So to give you a brief overview of what this means is that earlier we had performance test running and them showing on the dashboard, but due to some reasons, those performance profiles run, or the test results that were run were not getting populated at the website because there's some change in the naming construct of a performance profile. But I changed that naming construct and then made a uniform naming change to all the performance profiles, so that these performance tests that I run on the
clusters, CNCF clusters are now populated in the dashboard, but this created an issue where a new performance profiles and new performance profile results were shown, as well as the old performance profile results were shown with same configuration. Two different profiles were getting shown. So what I did was merge both of those profile, like the old one and the new one, so that they can be viewed in one particular performance profile. So yeah, that is like completed. Now I just need to work on the like changing the front end part of this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Subedy, do we know the value under the service mesh field? The first, SMP.
These needs to be, these are like due to the new naming contract, these got a little bit changed. So yeah, I'll fix that. I need to fix on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then Subedy, do you know about how many, so I don't know if everyone else knows, but these tests are being run in the CNCF labs. And then the results of the performance analysis for each test is then shown here. And these are run multiple times a day. And there's about 12 bare metal machines, servers that are spun up and spun down multiple times a day. So it's kind of it's a pretty cool thing. And it's controlled through GitHub Actions. So bare metal provisioning of the OS and the whole thing. So, but Subedy, when all is said and done on this particular update that you're doing, do you have a sense of how many performance profiles will be shown? How many different?
So currently, if the work WRK2 load generator, if that works, then we'll be showing around 12 of them for 3 service mesh. But if that WRK does not show, then we'll be reduced to around 8. I might be a little bit off on the math, but yeah.
But close enough. Okay, very good. Yeah, it's not, like there's thousands and thousands and thousands of tests, but the number of profiles is 10 or less. And so the WRK2, it isn't working. And I think one of the contributors just got done disabling it in the UI. I wonder if maybe we shouldn't disable those particular tests in the workflow. At the same time, you might be able to just add maybe a couple more service meshes, just same profile, just different mesh potentially. You at least try it. I mean,
I can try. And since the Nighthawk test, like Nighthawk is working, can we add those also, or do they require a little bit more configuration?
No, it should. Yes, please. It should work just the same as the.
Okay, so I'll fix this dashboard a little bit with all the correct values and everything. Then I'll work on adding other things.
Yeah, Subedy, something to think about, and maybe even open up a GitHub issue and another contributor might come to bear is. So you're when you're saying these cryptic words, WRK2, Fortio, and Nighthawk. And those are load generators. So those are significant to the performance to the test itself and the analysis that goes on. Those are load generators that are baked inside of Meshery. And they report the results in different ways. They generate load differently. They analyze the results a little bit differently. Hence why there are 3 different types in there. Do we have an easy way on this dashboard for visitors to, understand that outside of just the naming convention, which, like in the naming convention, OSM, what is that? As a matter of fact, OSM is an archive project now. Okay. So that just FYI, if that service mesh crashed and burned. So as you're adding new service meshes, you might disable that one, you might disable WRK2, and then maybe you'd open up an issue to see if you or someone else might, if it's easy enough to add the ability to filter by load generator, yeah, or
Okay.
sort or like categorize, yeah, by load generator. I think it'll be of interest.
Okay, sure.
Nice.
All right. Thanks, Subedy. So next up we have a blog for review from Karan. Karan, would like to share? Okay.
Hope my screen is visible. Okay, so this blog on the topic of Meshery operator is open for review. So any contributors and maintainers are requested to just review it. So this blog covers about what are operators and what are the use cases on which the operators are used, and description about our Meshery operator and what are what it is and what are the custom controllers that it manages. So I have added the description about the meshing operator and the broker meshing controller and the broker controller, along with the uh, key benefits. So the last time I showcased it, so the requested changes were addition of the graphical more graphics. So the meshing logo and the net server logo will be added, and so I just rechecked it again. So the key benefits were not like user the Meshery operator specific. These were more generic. So I'll update it by tonight. It's stating the simplified deployment. So it will be termed as simplified service mesh development as well as the management of the service meshes. And there's a need for the integration of CI/CD pipeline mode. So these are the things that I'll do for now. Any other comment?
Yeah, this looks very great, Karan. And since we are on the topic of blogs, so I encourage each one of you on the call to go and write a blog. We do have a dedicated writers program to which you can sign up, and the committee will definitely provide you a good support. So you can write blogs in multiple areas or resource articles, whether it's related to coding, technology, community, or anything. All right.
Okay, I'll be
Yep.
stopping this here.
The blog looks good, Karan. Thanks for your update. So since we are on time, so Avishkar, would you quickly like to go over your update?
Yeah, mine is not that big of a change. So recently we merged the data table integration into the filters page. So I have a PR up that does the same for the applications page. Currently, I won't be able to show because my WSL is freaking out because it's running out of resources to run. So I'll just update the PR with the video or a screenshot of the change. And also, I need to update the catalog card to support the representation of filters as well as applications. Currently, it only shows. Currently we do show the cards, but those are catered towards the catalog designs and not for the filters
All
and
right.
applications specifically.
Yeah, you can provide the link or updates on Slack. Then.
Yep.
All right. So since we have 1 minute over, so are there any urgent items that we need to go over? I think Abhi's and Uzair are important items, but it would take time.
Yeah. There is a video resource added to the PR, that would be enough to describe the things. Definitely, that's a work in progress because just let me.
Yeah, you can share the link, Avi, so we all can take a look. And till the time Abhi is sharing the link, so we got recently a new Figma mascots added into our brand guide. So Ritik, would you like to give an update on this?
We have a mascot pack on inside the drive that you get inside the shared drive in stick figures folders that you get when you fill the bonus form. So the mascot pack represents the layer 5 and its projects. So if you want to use them and share it on your projects, you can get those inside. After that, you can cover.
Yeah, Ritik, if you would also share the link of that brand
Yeah,
guide
I'll
in the
share.
chat. All right, Abhi. So would like to share, or are you sharing the link?
Anything like that. Let me
Yeah.
quickly play the video.
Yeah, this looks good. Abhi, if you would like to do a voiceover on this video.
Sorry. Yeah. So I think what you're seeing on the screen is a dynamic resolution of relationship between different components that you have. There are components that are namespace. There are components that are non-namespace. By default, all the components have the default namespace. Some components being a namespace component might not have the namespace present in them, so that it could be deployed on literally any namespace when at the time of into the hands of it is in the hands of user. So there is definitely a lot of complexity around a simple thing like namespaces as well, and that's what we are trying to ease out with the new parent-child relationship. That is definitely right now. It's more or less just talking about the namespace, but it is not limited to it. There is a Rego file that figures out all the relationship. What you are seeing here is just a parent-child relationship, right? So some components are enclosed in a parent component just to say that these two are very related things and other ones are different things. So that's what it is, right? The resolution, it is just easing out your design process, right? Whenever you are designing on the mesh map, so it is visually aiding you like where the components will be deployed in which namespace, where it would move and how it would flow. Other than that, it not yeah, you don't have to add your namespace explicitly. Like you don't have to drop a namespace component just to say like these two things are related. I mean, you can do it right now as well, but it's not important. So as you have seen in this video, I think that's very self-explanatory. Yeah. And since we are over time, so I would just stop myself here. There is a lot of things to talk about it, but yeah, I'll stop myself.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Thanks, Abhi. So since we are 6 minutes over, we missed out a couple of updates. So make sure you toss this item on Slack to take feedback. So it's time to wrap the call. So make sure you subscribe to the committee calendar so you don't miss out any of the committee meetings. And on Thursday, we do have newcomers meeting and bi-weekly build and release call. So if you got any questions, do reach out to Meshmates, committee managers, maintainers, or contributors on Slack or use Discuss forum. So you can catch the recording of this live stream on Layer 5 YouTube channel, and Do follow us on YouTube and other social media accounts. All right. Thanks all for joining today. We'll meet you next week, same time, same place. Bye all.
See ya. Bye.
Are you there?